Most people think preparing for war starts with a dramatic phone call. Unless you're in Special Forces, it doesn't. It starts months before you even leave the UK. So what really happens? Let's find out. Welcome back to the war. When you first hear your unit is deploying, it's usually months away, and there's usually excitement, not panic. The army already has a process. You don't suddenly stop everything. Instead, the planning begins. Training programs change, exercises become more relevant to the mission, the focus shifts. Suddenly, everything you were doing has a purpose. I remember that being one of the biggest mindset changes. You're no longer training just because it's on the program. You're training because before long you may actually need these skills, and that's a very different feeling. But training was only part of the preparation. Let us know your pre-deployment stories and how you felt about going on tour in the comments. One phrase you'll hear a lot in the military is train as you fight. The idea is simple. The closer training feels to reality, the better prepared you'll be. Before deployment, we spent time rehearsing drills over and over again, reacting to contact, moving tactically, first aid, vehicle drills, communications, weapons handling, navigation. The goal wasn't to memorise a script. It was to make the basics become automatic. Because when you're tired, cold and under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back onto your training. That's something I don't think civilians often realise. Military training is about making you fearless, it's about making the right response feel natural, and that mindset carried into everything else we did. There's also endless exercises, and from our last video, you know how much I love exercise. One thing people always ask me about is the kit. Surely you just throw everything into a Bergen and go. Not even close. You don't just have a Bergen, you've also got a gorilla box. You get issued a kit list, and every piece of that kit has a purpose. Every item was checked, every weapon inspected, every piece of equipment accounted for. Going to the Middle East, I got issued all desert DPM. If something was damaged, it needed replacing. If something was missing, it had to be found. The army doesn't like surprises, because if your kit fails when you need it, it's already too late. I can still remember laying everything out and checking it again and again and again. At the time, it felt boring and repetitive. Looking back, I can completely understand why. If you were deploying tomorrow and could only take one personal item, what would you take and why? Let us know in the comments. If you've ever wondered about your grandparents' or great-grandparents' military careers, I am offering limited spaces on our military legacy programme. Comment legacy below and I'll send you the details. This is probably the biggest surprise for people outside the military. Preparing for deployment isn't just about soldiers, it's also about administration. Medical checks, dental appointments, vaccinations, documentation, emergency contacts, making a will, making sure records are correct, making sure your passport is in date, but not that would likely stop you from going on tour, making sure that your car has tax and an MOT so that you can drive home when you're an R&R. These aren't the exciting parts. They don't make it into films, but they're absolutely essential, because the army has to know that every soldier is medically fit, properly equipped and ready to deploy. Preparation isn't glamorous, it's detailed. People often ask if I was nervous about going on tour. The honest answer is no, and not in the way people would imagine. By the time deployment arrived, we'd spent months preparing, training, checking, practicing, rehearsing. That preparation builds confidence. Of course, there's always uncertainty, but no amount of training tells you exactly what will happen. But it does give you something to fall back on. I was also young on both of my Iraq deployments. I was 18 and 21. If I was to deploy now, having a wife and kids, I think I would feel a lot differently. One of the biggest lessons I took away from my time in the army is this: confidence doesn't come from hoping things will go well. It comes from knowing you're prepared as well as you possibly can be, and I think that's a lesson that applies far beyond the military. Theatre training, and no, I don't mean training for the West End, is acclimatisation training, which is usually a week getting used to the heat. Once completed, you're ready for your tour. When deployed, you are usually away for 6 months, but you do get 2 weeks R&R, which can be a bit surreal. One day, you're in the desert, the next, driving back home to your family. So, the truth about preparing for war: it isn't dramatic, it isn't rushed, and it certainly doesn't begin the day you deploy. For me, it was months of preparation, months of learning, months of repetition, because when the time finally comes, the army doesn't want you thinking about how to use your equipment or what to do next. It wants those things to be second nature. That's what preparation is really all about. Now, I want to hear from you. If you haven't served before, what did you think preparing for deployment actually involved? And if you were, which parts did you hate and actually like? And for all those who haven't served, was there anything that surprised you? Let us know in the comments. Now go check out our video where we spend a night in the woods. Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments, and check out our merchant membership programs. And don't forget to comment legacy for your family's military history. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.